Okay, good morning. Once again, we have a Saturday. All right. I don't know whether it's going to be any different than any other day. Let's see what's going on. A lot of trades in football, which like I say, I don't get in until they're all done because I have to see how that affects the team and the player. Uh, the thing I like the most now is Pence's, who is Trump's vice president from his first term, refuses to endorse him this time around. So does his Secretary of State and Homeland Security advisors and National Defense advisors and a few others from that period of time. That's because they've learned one thing about Donald Trump. When you work for Donald Trump, sooner or later he's going to fire you and call you an asshole and ruin your career as best he can. So it's best just not to work for him. Uh, Pence could have been, without Trump, there a presidential candidate. I don't think he had a chance in hell of winning, but he could have been the presidential candidate. He would have. I think he would have entered the race had it not been for Trump, because with Donald Trump in the race, it's going to get extremely personal, and I don't think Pence has got the backbone to stand up to that kind of garbage. Um, what else? Oh, we have St. Patrick's Day. I think that's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. It's like uh, May 5th. It's a day when everybody that particular nationality becomes that nationality, whether they are or they aren't. And in the Irish, the Irish people, they drink beer and they drink Guinness and Irish whiskey and get as drunk as they possibly can. And the Americans do it too. Not quite as bad as they have in the past. I'm not sure why that is, but that was like when I was tending bar. That was one of the worst days you could possibly work. Nobody tips. They're all too drunk. They're very demanding. You just work hard, and for the amount of money that you take in business, your tip percentage, instead of being around 15 to 20%, is around 5 to 10%. So you make money, but you do it off of volume and hard work. And it's one day a year you got to do that kind of stuff. May 5th, that's kind of a strange day. That's more of a bartender being inventive, coming up with things to do with tequila besides shots. Um, and that day's a good food day too. If you're into that, if you're into food, that's a really good day for food. Um, what else do we have coming up? Then we have Easter, which is a do nothing holiday. A funny thing about Easter now, and I think I'm finally beginning to figure this thing out. Although I can't really figure this out. I should say I haven't been able to figure this out. That's probably what I better say. In Latin America and in the Latin community, Easter is right now about 5 times bigger religious holiday than Christmas. And Christmas, you celebrate the birth of Jesus, and they do that by getting as drunk as possibly can, forgetting about church. There used to be midnight masses and everything. Well, they don't have that much anymore because they lock the churches up now at night because it's too dangerous. Uh, so you don't have a lot of midnight masses, and you don't go to. And they don't go to church. They go out. They get drunk, set off fireworks all over the world. I mean, they do it where I used to live. They don't. They have what they call non-drinking nights in Morristown, New Jersey. And you go out and you can have dinner, you can have non-alcoholic beverages. Don't get me wrong, there are places where it's not banned completely, but the deal is you don't drive, you walk, and you don't drink. All right. And at midnight there's fireworks, and then you go home and do whatever you do when you get home. And it's the same down here. They just get drunker and shit down here on Christmas, with the fireworks starting around 11:30, 12 o'clock. Illegal fireworks, but that doesn't stop anybody. And then you have Easter. Now, Easter, in America, we went to a Latin church in America when I lived there because my wife was Catholic and she wanted to go to church on Sunday, so I take her to church on Sundays. I don't really care one way or the other. Actually, I don't want to go, but I go because it's my wife, right? You could get there at the church is reserved. I mean, for the Latin Mass, it's for the Latino Mass, I should say, Latin, not the language, and you can't get in. You know, most of the time when you end up standing in the vestibule out by near the door, you know, and they make sure the collection plate gets to you. Trust me, you could be across the street. They'll send somebody out to get the money from you. And that's it. I mean, there's no alcohol involved or anything like that, which is good. It's just that's the day the churches make all their money. Like there's a church on the street where I live now in Columbia, and they're building a new one, and there's a little tiny church there, and they use a vacant lot next door on Easter week for all the masses. You know, it's a huge thing, where they might have I think they can fit maybe 100 people in this little church. They have close to 1,000 people for how many masses they have that day. So they're looking for the money, and that's the day you're supposed to put money in the coffer. You know, you're expected to do that. But the rest of the year, you'd be lucky if you fill that little church that they had, you know, with 100 people, or any of the other churches around here. They do have a lot of masses. They do Sunday evening masses, which attracts people because down here the working class people work 7 days a week. They try to get days off. They'll close early on Sunday, you know, whatever, you know, but still they're working 7 days a week down here, which is, you know, somewhat different than what we're used to in America, especially if they own their own business, which I did. I worked 7 days a week when I owned my own business, but I was able to take off whenever I needed to, too. All right, so that's it. Just the holidays coming up, you know, and nothing's going on politically other than I can't understand a lot of the headlines are Trump is worse than he was before, but still he's running, you know, and I guess we'll see, you know. I have these people that say, we'll take care of him at the ballot box. If you don't get out there and support somebody, you're not going to beat Trump. Trump has these die-hard racists, whatever you want to call them, these crazies, whatever you want to say about them, all right? They're going to vote. Rain, snow, hail, whatever. They're going to vote. If there's a war, they're going to vote. The rest of the people said, if I have the time, make the time, get out there now and start challenging the people that are it's like, I forgot, it was some city in, I'm going to say Oklahoma, I'm not sure, I was reading the article yesterday, elected a city councilman that's a neo-Nazi. How did he get elected? He flew under the radar. Nobody knew about it until after he was elected. So now there's a big thing. They're going to have a recall election and see what happens. This town is kind of neo-Nazi-ish, so we'll see what happens. All right, anyhow, that's it for me for now, and probably the rest of the day. I don't see anything really spectacular happening on Saturday. So we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.